pursue, and many other major things. And in the context of our decision making, there is often fear. And I think just today, as I was listening the last part of the second session, some questions are asking about certain fears. And may pinanggagalingan yung ating mga pangamba. Fear of the unknown. Ano ba yung mangyayari pag ginawa ko itong desisyon na to? Uncertainty. Too much at stake in the decision that we plan to make. Lack of personal confidence. Sometimes ignorance, not knowing what to do. Or previous experience of mistakes and errors. Paano kung magkamali uli ako? And the reality, brothers and sisters, is that behind every decision-making situation, we desire to be in control on one hand, and on the other hand, it is the truth that we can never really be in full control of things. It is very common for us human beings wanting to be in control of our life, wanting to be in control of our situations. But the reality is also that kahit gaano ka pakagaling, kahit gaano ka pakasuccessful, hindi mo kayang kontrolin at hindi mo alam kung ano ang mangyayari sa buhay mo. Therefore, the result is anxiety. When things are not turning out the way we want it, nagsisimula tayong mangamba. And because of this, we fall into some pitfalls or obstacles. You know, I've been helping young people for many years, and what I probably share with you in terms of some of the pitfalls, very real ito, at ito yung madalas na nakikita ko kapag ka mayroong anxiety, mayroong fear, yung mga tinutulungan namin, lalo na yung mga singles sa community. Let me give you probably three. Lack of openness. It is very common to men and women that if they are fearful or anxious, the tendency is for them to do it or to do something on their own without even sharing it to their leaders or sharing it to people that can help them. Yung iba naman talaga matigas lang ang ulo. Alam mo nang hindi sila nag-open up dahil alam nila sigurado merong sasabihin o may pagagawa yung kanilang mga leaders. So this is very common, the lack of openness. Their desire to be in control and to do things on their own without even praying about it sometimes or without consulting their leaders or people who can help them. Sorry. Second, procrastination. If you are fearful, if you're anxious, the tendency of many people is to actually delay or not make a decision at all. That's why many sisters would come to me, how come this particular brother is still not yet moving forward? And most of the time I just tell them, leave them alone. Because maybe they're anxious. And it's common. Procrastination, not making a decision, is actually a decision. The opposite is true, that being hasty, o yung bahala na mentality, bahala na moving ahead without due consideration. Sige na lang. You know, brothers and sisters, this is very common, and I've seen this experience of, especially among women. You know, we're talking about state of life, and I've seen some women in the past that kahit alam nilang mayroong major issue dun sa kanilang relationship, sige na lang. Baka wala nang dumating eh. Baka wala nang manligaw sa akin. In fact, some would even resort to even internet dating. Because of they're so fearful and they are so pressured, kumbaga, ilalagay nila sa kanilang mga kamay ang pagdidesisyon and they will do everything just to make things happen. But for us Christians, and this I think is very important and fundamental, we know that the basis of our discernment and decision making is the faithfulness of the Lord. Yes, things will be uncertain. Yes, things will not happen the way we want it at times. But we, as Christians, would like to be reminded about the faithfulness of God. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 to 23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Because God is faithful and steadfast, because He never changes, His love is constant, therefore we can rely on Him. We can be confident in making decisions and to pursue God's will for our lives because the Lord will guide us and will help us. Knowing that God is faithful, therefore, we want to understand and be guided by what we call the three scriptural principles in making decisions. Ito yung dapat nating panghahawakan at ito yung dapat nating maging batayan kapag tayo ay gumagawa ng desisyon. We need to make sure if we want to come up with successful decision in our life and expect the Lord to guide us, let us be reminded of these principles and let us allow these principles to guide us. First principle, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. St. Paul says, whatever you do all for the glory of God. Brothers and sisters, the goal of our decision in life, big or small, is to glorify the Lord. Nothing more. Everything should be done for God and in God. That is the first principle. We are created to give glory and to give honor. In the first principle of St. Ignatius' spiritual exercises, man is created to give honor, to give glory to our Creator. That is the first principle. Second, Psalm 32, verse 8. I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eyes upon you. It is the Lord who will instruct and teach us. Why? Because God is interested in our affairs and His word is always near. His inclination or His nature is to guide and to bless us and not to leave us to fend for ourselves. God is interested with our lives and He would like, and it is His desire to help us and to make sure that He is with us every time we make decisions for Him. Third, Psalm 37, verses 3 to 4. Third principle, trust in the Lord and do good, so you will dwell in the land and enjoy security. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. God loves us, and what happens to us is important to Him. He wants to give the best to us, and if we trust in Him, He will act on our behalf. And Lord is saying, delight in me. Put your trust in me, and I will bless you. Put your trust in me, take delight in me, and I will bless the desires of your heart. All these passages assure us of God's faithfulness. Therefore, we have no reason to be anxious or fretful about the future, for He will guide us as we seek His will for our life and as we make our decisions to pursue, to love Him, and to honor Him. Brothers and sisters, God is in charge of our life, and He is bigger than all our concerns and worries. And so as we make decisions, it is our desire that we bring with us these principles and allow these principles to give us the confidence to pursue. So now the question now is, how do we know God's will? How do we make right decision? And how to act on it? So I will now shift to providing you with very specific process na pwede natin gawin. And I would call this the 6 D's of decision making. D as in dog. The 6 D's of decision making. Discipleship, daily communion with God, discover yourself and God, discern or deliberate, decide, and then do it. These are 6 very simple principles for making decision in the Lord. And as I've said, it can be applied both for big and small, or short-term and long-term decision. But more particularly, I think this is suited for the major ones. So, and again, whether major or anything, big decision, I think this particular process will help us. These principles are not necessarily foolproof, nor guaranteed that we won't ever make mistakes. Hindi po ginagarantiyahan ito. But what we're saying is that these principles will teach you how to trust in the Lord and to turn your even your failures and mistakes to work out for your good in the end. Romans 8:28. So the first 2, this is the last comment before I go through the process one by one. The first 2 these are the prerequisite for any Christian decision making. Ibig sabihin, hindi maaaring wala yan, yung first 2. And then, the next 4, these are the actions in the actual process of discernment and decision making. Okay, let me now move to D, number 1, discipleship. A good, ongoing, growing personal relationship with the Lord is a precondition to any effort at knowing God. This is the starting point. Discipleship is about relationship that is based on love. Our love for God motivates us to live a life free of sin and free of inordinate attachment. If you are to consider your direction in life, the most important thing, first and foremost, is to be a disciple of Jesus Christ, who is willing to put aside whatever distracts you from living fully for God. Willing to follow Jesus wherever He leads. In other words, if you want to pursue decisions in your life, it is not about your own agenda. Discipleship is about putting the agenda of God first. It means willing to involve oneself in the concern of His Master. In Matthew chapter 19, the story of the rich young man, he asked Jesus, "Master, what should I do to inherit eternal life? I've been following the commandments. I'm faithful to observing the law." And the Lord said, "One thing that you need to do, sell everything you have and follow me." But he went away sad because it is too much for him. And the Lord said, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. That is the prerequisite if we want to really pursue the life that God has for us. Like Jesus, we want to say, not my will, Lord, but your will be done in my life. Discipleship requires total surrender to God. If you want to be successful in life, then discipleship is a prerequisite. Second, daily communion with God. The discipleship relationship is expressed more concretely in a life of daily communion with God, a life of prayer and study of His Word. Alam niyo mga kapatid, pag sinabi mong gagawa ka ng desisyon, dapat nakikinig ka sa Diyos. Mahirap makinig sa Diyos kung wala tayong panahon sa Diyos. And therefore, it is a prerequisite. Being connected to the source of life is a condition for us to hear the Lord. John 15 verse 4, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. There is no discernment without established regular communion with the Lord. The more we commune with God, the more we grow in the knowledge of God. And our knowledge of God familiarizes us to discerning His will. Kung malapit tayo sa Diyos, malalaman natin kung ano ang gusto ng Diyos para sa atin. Discernment or seeking God's will is all about fruitfulness. And fruitfulness will happen if we are connected to the source of life. Now, moving on into the third D, and this is the action part already. So, yeah, we aspire and we desire, and by the grace of God, we are living a life of a disciple. And we have constant and regular communion with the Lord. How do we now proceed? D, discover yourself and God. Knowing yourself or having that self-knowledge or self-awareness is fundamental and crucial to any major decision-making. We need to have a good grasp of ourselves and to understand anong klaseng tao ba tayo. Ano ba yung mga gifts ko? Ano ba yung abilities ko? What are my skills? What are my strengths? My accomplishments? My weaknesses? What are my fears? I know of someone, his fear is a fear of hunger. Yung talagang takot siya magutom. Or limitations. Yes, maybe we are good at certain things, but we also have limitations. And it's good for us to understand what are my limitations, what are my hopes, what are my dreams, my desire, my personal preferences, motivations, feelings, even language of love. Ang language of love ko ay physical touch. And my expression of love is physical touch. And I realized that not all people have that language of love. And so sometimes, because I know myself, I'm quick to say to people that if you don't feel love because I'm not doing the way you, like my wife, ang language of love ng asawa ko is act of service, hindi language of love sa akin yun. I think helping her is not really automatic. So I know myself. And because of that, I was able to adjust, and because kilala ko yung sarili ko at alam ko kung ano yung kakayahan ko, ano yung kahinaan ko. So in decision-making process, brothers and sisters, I think it is important. Kilala mo yung sarili mo. Ano ang kakayahan mo, ano yung hindi mo pwedeng gawin, ano yung saan ka mahina, etc., etc. And crucial consideration here, I think, is to ask the question, am I able to lovingly and gratefully accept all that I find in my life or in my personal history. Grateful ka ba sa Panginoon sa buhay na ibinigay niya sa iyo? Another area is knowing God. As Christians, we always try to make our decisions in the context of our relationship with the Lord. And our desire is to know Him and to know His will and purpose. And note that God speaks to us in many different ways if we are constantly in touch with Him through prayers. God speaks to us through scriptures, through circumstances, or in a particular situation. God speaks to us through our leaders. I will tell you, I'm living my life today and I'm a beneficiary of having very good leaders in community. And I will tell you, I benefited a lot. And right now, I am leading a family and I bring up my children. And most of my learnings is really because of the inputs of my leaders. And God speaks to me that way. And I experienced God's faithfulness in that area. God speaks to us through opportunities. And so we want to take advantage of that, brothers and sisters. And we also want to understand that God is a God of order. And God is a God of many surprises as well. And so in knowing God, I think it's a critical consideration not to presume that we know everything and we know His will for our lives. We should allow ourselves to be guided by the Lord as He speaks to us and as He works in our life. Having an attitude of humility, openness is very important. These are very helpful disposition when seeking God's will. So the first D is really know yourself and know the Lord even more. And then we can now move to the next D. Second action D is discern and deliberate. This is probably the most important part of the process of discernment or deliberation. Discernment means hearing God's word and obtaining God's wisdom for our life. This presupposes, brothers and sisters, that there are good options or choices available that we are free to make choices. Pag sinabi mo kasi discernment, we are actually choosing between 2 or 3 good things. Or 3 options, 2 or 3. Kung wala kang option, there's nothing to discern. Diba? So, it presupposes that there are good options when we discern. And in discerning or deliberation, it requires that we use our minds. It means that we thoughtfully consider and reflectively pray about the issues surrounding our decision. The mind is an important spiritual faculty. We should not over-spiritualize things. I was talking to a sister recently and I was telling her, I mean, why are you wasting your time with this man? And you cannot move on with your life. And she said, you know, Kuya Chip, I felt that without me, he will lose his Christian life. I said, are you the Messiah? You are not the Messiah. I mean, let's not be super spiritualized things. I heard some people would say, you know, I'm destined to be in this company because I can save a lot of souls. Even if I am miserable and I'm not happy anymore. Brothers and sisters, we are given this faculty, our mind, to really discern and deliberate things, and we should not super spiritualize things. Next point is that the bigger the decision, the more we should carefully think things through, especially the one with long-term consequences. Pinag-iisipan, tinitignan natin ano ang benefits, ano ang pros and cons, ano ang positive, ano ang negative. Deliberation does not guarantee an instant answer, or 100% infallibility. But often God uses this situation to make us grow in faith. Component of the process, I think this is very important in the process of discernment. We would like to say that we want to take one decision at a time. One decision at a time. Alam nyo, very common. For example, sa isang gusto niyang maghanap ng ibang trabaho. Alam nyo, brothers and sisters, this is a very good example. If you plan to look for a job and you have a job right now, it's actually a complex decision. Because the issue here is not only, shall I look for another job? But the more immediate question is that, what is wrong with my present job? Bakit pa gusto kong mag-resign? And sometimes, dahil nakaaway lang yung boss nila, bukas nag-send na ng resignation. And that is why we see some people who are jumping from one job to another. They're not able to really establish their career because they don't really take their decision-making process one at a time. Be clear what your purpose is in going through the process. Ano ba ang dahilan mo? Ano ba talaga ang motivation mo for considering, for example, looking for another job? And put the proposition as answerable by yes or no. Nasusuportahan ba ako sa aking Christian life? Yes or no? Can I still serve in this particular situation? Yes or no? And then it will help you to deliberate and to really see the positive and the negative. Make sure that you have adequate information or facts in this particular process on the matters related to your choices. Pupunta ka ng ibang kumpanya, pero hindi mo alam gaano ba kalaki yung kumpanya na yan. Kanino ba ako magre-report? You know, in making career choices, it is very helpful that we have enough information or facts about a particular company that we're considering, for example. Write down your preferences. No Saturday work as much as possible. It's a preference. No field work. I hate field work, for example. It's a preference. Wala na lang sana akong boss na hindi preference yun. Ano yan? Wishful thinking ang tawag dyan. Consider your feelings and motivations. Be honest and ask the following questions in this area. Am I looking to please God here? Or I am trying to please myself? Am I governed by fear, self-concern, or the world's way of evaluating things? Am I simply taking the path of least resistance? Am I overly influenced by the opinion of others? Or am I just reacting negatively because of certain incident that happened with my boss? I think these questions are important, especially if you're in the process of discernment, in the deliberation. Consult other people, having a co-discerner to help you. For those of you in Ligaya, consult your pastoral leaders. In Lingkod, you have action group leaders. So consult them and seek their inputs and seek their wisdom and seek their perspective. Don't be your own counselor. Kasi malamang kung ano yung gusto mo, yun ang mangyayari. Bakit? Kasi bias ka doon. So seek the help and don't be your own counselor. Allow God some time to reveal Himself to you. Know that at this point, you are simply listing down reasons and insight about the decisions. Hindi ka pa nagdidesisyon. And now we will move to the next D. Dito pa lang tayo pupunta. Last few slides. Decide and confirm the decision. These steps is perhaps the most difficult part of the process. After getting all the information and deliberating on the pros and cons, one needs to actually decide. Be conscious of the danger of procrastination or not deciding at all. I don't know if I still have time, but I'll give you an example. I remember, noong ako'y hindi pa nag-state of life, nasa CYE pa lang ako, talagang crush na crush ko na yung gusto kong ligawan dati. Nasa awa ng Diyos, napakasawa ko naman. After working for CYA 3 years, I started looking for a job, and atat na atat ako. Nung hindi pa ako pwede, atat na ako. Nung pwede na ako, ayoko nang mag-move. I think 2 years later, I remember Ken Baker approached me, "Hello, Chito, what are you waiting for?" And I said, "Ken, wala pa akong savings eh." I was so fearful. Kaya ko bang bumuhay ng pamilya? And Ken just told me, "Why? Are you getting married next month? Well, you have a career right now and the Lord is blessing your career. But I tell you, you better move. Because if not, I think it might be too late." The following day, niligawan ko rin asawa ko eh. But again, procrastination could be a danger. May desisyon ka na, pero pag inabot ka ng pangamba, parang ayaw mo na. And I think it's a very real danger, and we need to recognize that. Some steps in this particular stage. Evaluate your pros and cons. Which of my reasons or motivations were serious or minor issue or just excuses? Maganda i-filter mo pa rin yun eh. Just to make sure that you weigh the remaining significant reasons, the serious ones against the minor ones. Choose your course of action based on your evaluation that best suits your purposes. And sometimes, do sa mga nag-state of life discernment, for example, or those who are praying for their career, sometimes writing down the decision or having a manual or journals rather help us in our decision. So sometimes magandang isulat mo yun eh, at nakakatulong sa atin in pursuing this particular stage. Discuss and share with your co-discerner or with your pastoral leader, ano ba yung mga desisyonan mo na gusto mong gawin. Some indicators to confirm that regarding your decision is a correct one. Sense of peace and satisfaction about the decision. Alam niyo, isa kahit kinakabahan tayo, you're peaceful. And when you're peaceful, you know that the Lord is with you and the Lord will bless you, and somehow it gives you confidence to pursue the decision. There is a growing internal certainty and conviction that the decision seems right. And also you will experience spiritual blessings and fruitfulness. These are some of the signs that, you know, the decision that you want to pursue is really from the Lord. Last, do it. Execute the decision. Step forward boldly and do what you have decided to do. Just do it. Take note, brothers and sisters, that obstacles may arise and that may challenge your decision and even test your determination as well as purify your motivation. When I decided to pursue marriage, may mga obstacles ako na-experience. I started very slow in my career. I thought that after 2 years, I could have a very good career and a good salary, but it did not happen right away. And somehow, obstacle yun. But all the more, it strengthened my faith to trust in the Lord because I heard Him, I prayed about it, and I know that He will bless me. Okay, so obstacle may arise, but it is meant to strengthen our determination and to purify our motivation. There's room for making a mistake, but remember Romans 8:28. We know that in all things God works for the good with those who love Him, those whom He has called according to His purpose. When challenges in this particular stage arise, God may be saying any of the following. Maybe God is saying to wait before acting on a decision, to persevere in the decision, and to change your decision altogether. If you are in this particular stage, again, it will help if you consult your leader and to seek their inputs and to seek their mind. Okay, ano uli yung anim na Ds?
Discipleship.
Discipleship,
Communion with God.
Okay.
Cover yourself and God. Discern, deliberate, decide, do it.
do it. Okay. To end, I was preparing this talk and I encountered this quote from Rick Warren. I just want to end this, brothers, and again to bring us into the
He wants to make us like Him.
proper perspective. Rick Warren said, Jesus did not die on the cross just so we could live comfortable with well-adjusted lives. His purpose is far deeper. He wants to make us like Himself before He takes us to heaven. This is our greatest privilege, our immediate responsibility, and our ultimate destiny. And I was reflecting on this. I coined this phrase, the call, our response, and our reward. The Lord has called us to be holy, and that's who we are. God has called us to be holy, for He is holy. This is our greatest privilege, to be called by the Lord to be holy. And the way for us to holiness is when the Lord has called us to be fruitful and by doing His will for our lives. This is our responsibility. And that is why we have this session to help us to really pursue the will of God for our lives and to make decisions for Him. Because it is our responsibility and this is our way to holiness. And the Lord destined us to be with Him for eternity. That is our reward and our hope. May the Lord continue to grant us the grace to have more of God and to be more for God and to pursue His will for our lives. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Salamat, Chito. When I was listening this morning to Kuya Eddie and now to Chito, my take is that in decision making and in planning for our future, they're very much connected. No? We really need to plan. The pen or the situation will not plan for us. We're the ones who really need to plan. And when we plan, we need to pray about it. We need the Lord to intervene. We need the Lord's guidance and inspiration to open doors for us where He would want us to go and to close the doors where He would not want us to go. And also to ask pastoral help from our actual leaders, from MWG leaders or pastoral leaders. And then to pursue that plan. And lastly, to persevere. Because things will not be easy, things will not be that smooth. Maybe just to share with you a bit my own experience of making decisions. I remember being so fearful because I was about to make a decision whether to move towards our formation or training in the servants of the Word. And the brothers will be investing on me. They will move me, provide for me to go to the US for 2 years. So I said, Lord, this is it. I don't want my brothers to invest on me and then leave the servants of the Word. So I should make a decision now. And I really, really want to make sure if this is the place for me. But I was so scared because I could not see what's going to happen. Am I going to be faithful? Am I going to stick to this brotherhood? So I was so scared, and I actually felt I should leave because I wasn't sure of the future or how I would live my life. Good thing there's pastoral care. So I shared this to my leader, and then he actually said something very, very basic, but it didn't register to me, or it didn't. I wasn't really practicing or living that way. He maybe said, very simple, and yet I use it until now. You know, the Lord will only allow us to see 70% or 75% of our choice or where we are moving towards only 70% of our decision, or only 70% of what we want to pursue. And He will always leave 30%. And that 30% is very important because that's slotted for or reserved for your faith. You have to exercise your faith. You have to trust in the Lord. Oo nga, no? Tama, mabuti na lang meron pastoral leader. Buti na lang meron tayong mga leaders to give us wisdom to guide us. But just a couple of years after that, I was scared again. And I was about maybe a year or two before I made my final vow, I was again scared. No, sabi ko, Lord, I think I can be faithful for the next 5 years. I can be a real servant of the Word for the next 5 years. But after 5 years, I don't know what's going to happen. I might become servant of the Word. No? I might swerve to my commitment. I might swerve maybe because of my weaknesses, my family background, for whatever reason. And I was so scared, and I told the Lord, Lord, you really have to intervene. Because if not, I'm leaving the service of the Word. You know I'm scared. You know I could not see myself living this life for sure that I'll be faithful after 5 years. Maybe 5 years I can. But I also expressed to the Lord, this is the life I want to live. This is what the life I want to choose. I believe this is for me. And yet my fear was so great. I wasn't sure if I was going to be faithful after 5 years, after 10 years, after 15 years, and so on. Mabuti lang, nagdadasal tayo. Kanina sabi ko, mabuti na lang mayroong pastoral help. Good thing there's pastoral help. And good thing, in community, we are taught to pray. We're taught to ask the Lord to intervene. And yes, the Lord intervened. The Lord spoke to me very clearly in my prayer. I remember I was in a monastery praying and really asking the Lord to, really wrestling with the Lord. You have to do something, Lord. And the Lord, in His mercy, spoke to me. And again, very, very simple. He just told me, just be faithful today. And then tomorrow. And then the day after tomorrow. And then the day after that. No? And then I can be faithful for the rest of my life. No? Sabi ko, just be faithful today. And then the day after that. And you can be faithful for the rest of your life. And I felt the Lord spoke to me. I'm so worried about 10, 15 years from now, while what He wanted me to do is to be faithful today, and then tomorrow. I remember making that prayer 21 years ago, and I think I'm faithful. And I'm still asking the Lord's help to be faithful. Again, I shared that, brothers and sisters, to us because fear is, like what Chico mentioned, is very much present when we make major decisions. But fear need not paralyze us. Fear need not stop us from pursuing the beautiful things, the good things that the Lord has in store for us. We have pastoral help. We have the Lord to guide us and to bless us. Amen? Amen. Let's worship Him. Hindi pa exhortation na. What we want to do now is to listen to a brother who we invited to speak to us and to share his experience. A while ago, he asked me, why did you invite me? Sabi ko naman na marami po kasi ako natutunan sa inyo. I've been in community in Ligaya for, I don't know, ilang years na tayo, Cheats? 20, 25 years, maybe, no? And in our life in community, from investigating community life to becoming a member, underway to being a covenanted member and a leader and a coordinator. In all of these years, this brother showed, I would say this brother journeyed with me, I've learned a lot from him, and I know he has made many, many decisions. And these decisions are not only for himself, but also for many people he was caring for. He's one of the leaders of Ligaya ng Panginoon, coordinator, senior coordinator, emeritus well loved by many of us, and a very good model and example for many of us, especially for the brothers. Of course, sisters din, pwede naman siyang emulate and be inspired, sisters through our brother. So let's all welcome our brother Tito Vic.
Thank you, Mon. Pwede naman gawin ito. Okay. So, kumusta na kayo? Maghapon na kayo. Ha? You're being taught how to make decisions, and I hope that you have made a decision by now about the things that you need to decide on. Kanina, I was waiting for my sundo, and I was expecting them at 1:30. Sabi ni Mon, susundin na ako 1:30. Sabi ko, okay, I'll have some time. I told myself to finalize a few notes that I would like to make. Dumating yung sundo ko ng 12:15. Sabi lang kasi yung traffic eh. Kayo naman ang traffic na naman sa oras. Alright, but okay. We had a good time anyway to talk, and I enjoyed talking with them, not only during the time that they came, but also during the trip up to here. Ang sabi sa akin ni Mon, I will share with you about my own making decisions. I don't know if you will be able to appropriate some of those gems of sharing that I found helpful for myself and apply it to your own. Pero alam nyo, making decisions is about making choices. It is that simple. To make a decision, you give up something in preference for something that you like better. Sometimes you are faced with two good choices, yun ang mas mahirap. 2 or 3 good choices. Kung one good and one bad, madaling decision na nga. Pero kapag dalawa o tatlo, like for example in the case of a lady, kung tatlong magagandang lalaki at really attractive and virtuous ang nanliligaw, mahirap yung decision dyan. Mahirap. So you will need to apply certain wisdom, or you are trying to make a choice between 2 good jobs. Parehong magaling na gustong, very promising. So those are things that you're faced with. And yung lahat na sinabi ni Chito, pinakikinggan ko. Okay naman yung Chito. I like what you said. I think those are very, very inspired teachings. To begin with, you already have certain advantages. One advantage that you have, all of us have, is that we have chosen God. So that is one decision that we made. We made the decision for Jesus Christ, to accept Him. So you have made a good decision, don't give that up. Kahit anong mangyari, huwag nang bibitawan niya. You have made a decision to follow a certain way of life, not just following Jesus Christ, not just being a generic Christian, but you have made a decision about a particular way in which you want to follow Jesus. And that led you to lingkod or ligaya, whichever the case may be for you. Again, you have made a choice. You have made a decision. And you made a good one, don't give that up. Stick with it. So that should give you confidence already that you have been making decisions so far, up to this point. So it's not like you don't know how to make a decision, you know. You have been guided, you have been blessed. And that has been with you. Now you have, because of being in Ligaya or Lingkod, you have pastoral support. And you've chosen that. Again, you made a good decision to enter into a life of formation. Doon sa ating mga teachings na tatandaan ninyo, the first 3 talks of entering formation or the first 3 talks of foundations 1. Ay nakalagay ito sa entering formation is that you enter into the community that you came into because you desire to be formed. In other words, hindi naman kayo naniniwalang formado na tayo. Naniniwala tayo na kailangan pa natin ng formation and that we have entered into it willingly and we desire it. Be formed into what? Be formed into what? To be formed, there are so many things that you might kind of listen to and baka malito pa lang kayo. Pero let's get right down to the core of it. What are you being formed into? We are all being formed into the image of Christ. It is as simple as that. And you have made a decision that you want to be formed into the image of Christ. Because you want to reflect Jesus Christ into the world. Sapagkat yun ang ating mission. Basic catechism tells us that. So again, that's a decision that we all have made. And in all of these things, God has given you something. God has given you something that no one else can give you. And that is faith in your heart. Faith, pananampalataya. And with faith in your heart, you can face any situation that you will find yourself into now or in the future. You can face them. Confident. What are you confident about? You're confident about the fact that Jesus has brought you to this point. Jesus loves you. Jesus is with you, and He will never abandon you. What else do you need? Wala ka na kailangan. That's all that you need. Dadating ngayon tayo sa practical. Practical nating buhay. Because makasagot pa ng lahat ng mga teachings na yan, pagdating na ng moment of decision over a specific matter, you want to transfer job, or you want to look for a job, you want to know for the men whether you are going to step out and court a girl. Girl naman, are you ready now to entertain suitors or to enter into courtship or anything? Maraming mga points of decision. And marami natin tayong teachings na natagka. Ang daming training. Formation is there and it will continue. Yung formation natin, by the way, matapos man kayo ng lahat ng formation courses, and some of you are already covenanted members, hindi matatapos yung training dyan, yung formation. The formation courses may end. Kaya nga kayo, some of you are already covenanted members. Pero yung formation that we receive from the Lord, continuous yan, hanggang buong buhay yan. Hanggang sa ngayon, I am much older than the rest of you, God continues to form me in the daily circumstances of my life. And I am being formed not only by the situations that I'm facing with, but by choices that I have to make. Palaging natin-test yung aking values by things that I have to choose. By the choice that I make, I am able to affirm whether the values that I believe in are real and something that I can hold on to and be proud about. Kuha niyo yun? Ganito yun. every day and every moment, you are faced with decisions or situations. Sa bawat decision na mahaharap ninyo, you have to test your values. Ano bang pinaniniwalaan mo? Yung bang decision mo ay consistent, yung iyong pinaniniwalaan ba consistent with what you have decided to do. Nandun yun. So you're faced with that by yourself. For example, ito na ngayon ang aking sasabihin na mag-isa ka na kayo dyan, wala yung pastoral leader mo, you are right there, you have to make a decision, even after all the consultations that we want to get and we want to take. You still have to make a decision. Hindi mo maaaring ipasa yan sa pastoral leader mo, coordinator mo. Sasabihin sa akin ng coordinator ko yun. Mali. In our communities, our decision is our own personal decision. Huwag mo sasabihin, sabi kasi ng coordinator ko, ng single woman leader ko, no. They are only there to help you. But the decision that you make is yours. Because it is your life that we're talking about. Kaya, titignan mo ngayon, in every decision that you have to make, and in my case, something that I have gone through, navigated through, ay yung values. In-examine ko, every time, in-examine ko yung aking values. When I look back, it's always good to look back into your life. Nung ako'y in my early 20s, wala pa separate community niya. That was long before community. And, just like any young man, meron kang barkada, meron kang mga challenges and things. And I had the opportunity to be a rich man. To be a very rich man. Bakit? Kasi, dalawa yung barkada ko. I was with the good guys in the upper class of society, but I also was with those that were considered the bad guys. Yung mga bad guys na yun ang those who ended up being the smugglers in our town. Big time smuggling. Ay kaibigan ko sila. Sabi sa akin noong parang alalay, noong pinaka-leader, sabi sa akin ay, Vic, pwede kang sumali dyan. Wala kang papasok na pera. Wala kang sasabihin kung sabihin mo kay Boy, akin yung isang case. Bibigay niya sa'yo. So, tinuro sa akin lahat. Wala akong gagawin kundi magsabi I want in. Dahil ikapilip siya sa'yo. Just because of that. Pero, and that would snowball. Sinabi niya sa akin, because I have seen it with the others. But I didn't take it. At that time, we were not even talking about Christian values. We were not talking about Christianity and all that. Of course, I was a Catholic. I am a Catholic now. Pero, bakit hindi ko tinanggap yun? It is because I looked at my values. Sabi ko, hindi pwede sa akin yan. Was I talking about righteousness? No. It was not righteousness really. But ayaw ko nung papasok ako roon, pag mo doon, I will lose my self-esteem. Kasi ako'y kasali doon sa mga ganun, pwede akong utos-utusan. Because my livelihood and my source of wealth will be coming from this one guy, the leader of the group. And I didn't want it. I want my self-respect, my self-esteem. And no amount of money can buy that. I told myself. So hindi ko tinanggap. Hindi ko tinanggap. And I maintained my good relationship with those guys. And they respected me. Hindi ako pwedeng tulak-tulak o utos-utusan. We joke around, but when I speak, they respect me. And that was of value to me. Later on, I was already a professional. I was in advertising, and I was doing good. I was a career professional. But I also knew there was some kind of thing that was going on in my heart. I was not really all that interested in making money. Siyempre, gusto natin pera. No? Pero that was not my main goal in life, I knew. So that when an opportunity came for me to invest my career in something else, nabigyan ako ng offer to get involved in a social communications office. They were publishing social action magazines that was aiming to promote values in society. That nabigyan ako ng offer to be an advertising executive there. I thought about it. And even at that time, kahit walang community, nagdasal ako. And I took it. I took the job. Why? Because nakita ko yung aking values. Yung aking pagtanggap noon, it was not just because it's a better job than the other job. It was a kind of a career move. No, it wasn't just that. But what I said to myself was, this is a good way to make a difference in society. And I'm going to invest my life there. Kaya ako yung lumipat doon. Okay? Hanggang sa Marcelo. No, Marcelo, because we were a publishing firm, rinahirapan kami. Okay? The rest of my life continued. And many years passed hanggang sa nga ako yung mag-asawa at ako ay na soon after we came into the charismatic renewal and community. We started the community. And soon after, sabi sa akin ni Father Herb, about 1 year later, sabi sa akin ni Father Herb, Rick, would you consider giving up your job and giving your life full-time for managing Word of Joy? Abay, yung Word of Joy, it was a ministry that we organized. Sapagkat ang need at that time, in 1975, was a need for Christian or Catholic literature about the charismatic renewal. Yun yun. And so we decided, Father Herb is good at that, siya ang namimili ng mga so we started that. Would I give up my career for that? Eh, yung Word of Joy nun ay isang kahon ng sapatos na nakalagay doon ay yung mga resibo, mga we delivered so many books to this prayer group and so forth. At yung mga libro namin isang milpak siguro natin ito, dalawang hindi libro. Give up my life for that. Give up my career for that. But I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at my values. And Agnes and I, Tita Agnes, we prayed. And I was seeking God's will. And I said, Lord, ano ang gusto ninyo? Because obvious, yung ino-offer ni Father sa akin ay hindi makakasya sa aming needs. Because Tita Agnes had already given up her job. She was finance directress of a foundation. And she had given up her job kasi nagkaanak na kami. And so for me to give up also this source of income, talagang yun na lang. And we tried all sorts of ways of computing and hanggang sa nagkabigyan sa akin ko, Lord, nakaluhod kami doon sa aming kwarto. I held up a piece of paper where we had our computation. And Lord, alam naman po ninyo na hindi magkakasya yung ino-offer. Hindi ko kasya talaga. But you have your own accounting, you have your own mathematics. And if this is your will for us to do, we will do it. And we waited. Involuntarily, nagkatinginan kami dalawa. After a long time, nakaluhod kami. Nagkatinginan kami dalawa. And we both said, it is the Lord. It is the Lord. Kinabukasan, nagpunta ko doon sa Bosco, who is a friend of mine, who is also in the community. Kasi it was an interim thing that I went into. And nagulat ako sa sabi niya. Nung sinabi ko, I have to quit because I need to start to give my time to the job. Sabi niya, I knew this time will come. Sabi niya, sinasabi ko na nga, babe. And then, we talk a bit, sabi niya, babe, I know you're gonna have difficulty financially. So this office is going to pledge to you a certain amount of money. Sinabi na kung magkano. Every month. And that was exactly the amount of money that Tita Agnes and I had completed was the shortfall. Yun ang kulang. And nobody knew about that. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Wala kami pinasasabihan. And yet, eksaktong amount na sinabi ko. So kahit anong mangyari, from that time on until many years later, I will always look back to that incident and draw strength from it. Sabi ko, pag sinabi ng Diyos, you can count on it. And again, ang sinasabi ko dito, values ha. Ang pinag-uumpisahan ng ay you have to take a look at your values. What are the values that you believe in? Kung yung values din ang pinaniniwalaan mo and that you hold dear into your heart, then all the decisions that you make will have to flow from that. And if your values are real, they have to be consistent with God's will. Hindi lang pure human values yan. Kahit nung panahong sinasabi kong I was not in the Lord, I was young and all that, even at that time, the Lord already was with me without my knowing about it. So values ang pinag-usapan natin dito. Ano man ang harapin ninyo, take a look at your values. Examine your values. What are the things that you hold dear in your heart? Okay? Pangalawa, sasabihin mo pagkamahaba na, ang pangalawa, that I find important, oh good, alright, good, thank you. Ang importante, in every decision that you make, in everything that you face, your life, kailangan integrated. You know what I mean by integrated? Ibig kong sabihin ng integrated, ay makakasama yan, hindi diverse, hindi fragmented, hindi maaaring yung ganito yung iyong set of values at paniniwalaan or behavior mo habang tayo naririto sa community. At pagkatapos ay pag nasa neighborhood mo, hindi pa ka na, o nasa bahay mo, hindi pa ka na, at you kind of slide. Hindi kinakailangan isa. But also, on the same principle of integrated is that your interests are integrated. Ang mga interest mo, no? So, alam mo na yung values, you look at your values. This time, you're talking about integrating your interests and your values. Ano ba yung interest mo? Let us not be, sabi ni Sito kanina, do not be over-spiritual. What? Dahil napunta ka lang dito sa lingkod o ligaya, kung ano-ano natutunan mo, spiritual ka na masyado. Hindi nagbago, nung ako'y maging nung ako ay mag-baptize in the Spirit, before nag-baptize ako in the Spirit, ang paborito kong pagkain ay pork chop. Nung mag-baptize in the Spirit, pork chop pa rin ang gusto ko. Hindi nagbago. Okay? Much of our lives remain the same. Ang nagbago is the way we respond to God. the way that we relate with one another as a result of a relationship, a renewed relationship with Jesus, yun ang nagbago. Okay? So, kung lahat ng mga aspect ng buhay mo yung pa rin, gusto mo yung makikita mo, ano ba yung interest mo? Ay, yung interest ko nga, na-share ko ng a while ago, na interesado ko that I want to make a difference. Hindi yung sige na lang na sige. No, I want to make a difference in society. In my own little way. Kung ano man. No? And kaya nga ako napunta doon sa Social Communication Center, away from advertising that day. Kaya ako yung nakapag-full-time mo kasi yun eh. No? Yun ang aking mga interest eh. So, interest yan, anong trabaho ang gusto ko. Kaya ako yung napunta sa advertising sapagkat alam mo yung advertising, I feel that I could integrate my life. Ang mga iniisip ko, pag gising ko pa lamang, ay has something to do with behavior of people. That's a major thing in advertising. How do people behave? How do people think? How do people make choices? Puro gano'n ang naisip ko. Kaya kahit ako'y naliligo, naiisip ko yung aming advertising campaign kung ano man nga ito. Gano'n. So in other words, integrate. Matutulog ako hanggang ngayon, doon sa aking night table, I have a piece of paper and a ball pen nakalagay doon because I read somewhere that that's a good thing to do. Kaya nandun yun, kung minsan isip ka ng isip ng whatever problem, it might be a practical problem, it might be a problem in the office, and maybe whatever. Kung minsan yung you have given up, pagod ka na, biglang makakatulog ka na, biglang nag-click. Biglang nag-click, okay? A moment of inspiration, go and grab that ball and write it down. Write it down. And then go back to sleep. And rest. Then, pagising mo, you develop that. No? Ganun yun. Ngayon, ibig sabihin na, nasabi ko lang yun as a good habit, good creative habit. Eh, kaya naman itong interest natin, kaya siguro ko'y nakapag-full-time dito sa Ligaya, nung sinabi ni Father, born of and then sa Ligaya, because my interest lies in that. My interest lies in thinking about what makes people think. What gives joy to Mon Samson that made him go and join the servants of the Word and spend his life there and giving up possibility of family? What makes Chito Morales like being a coordinator? Mahirap yung coordinator. What makes him enjoy doing that kind of thing? And what makes different ones? Yun. 5 minutes. Thank you.
Extend.
Yun, no? Importante yun. Kailangan integrated yan. Kaya pag integrated, happy ka na dahil hindi fragmented. Isa lang ang iniisip mo. Meron kang focus all the time. Kahit halimbawa in the choice of yung ako'y mag-asawa. Alam nyo, nung ako'y mag-asawa, I was 35. Noong panahon ko, 35, na yun. Ngayon, parang hindi na masyadong late show, 35 sa mga lalaki, no? Kasi yung aking anak, nag-asawa sa 32, no? Yung isa, yung ganyan, pinatapak 33 na siya ngayon, so 32. Hindi ang trend naman yung sa mukhang ganun ngayon ang mga lalaki. Noon, maraming nangyayang ganun. Kansaw lagi, hindi pa ako mag-asawa. Enjoy ng pagbibinata. Pero, clear sa akin kung sinong babae ang gusto ko. Not a particular person, but what kind of woman do I want? What kind of woman do I want? Siyempre, nung panahon, wala pa naman akong mga state of life discernment. Wala pa akong community nga eh, no? Pero ako, kita sa akin, ganitong klaseng babae ang ano ko. And when I met Tita Agnes, I knew it was her. Noong sometime ago, my eldest daughter, when she was preparing a paper, in-interview ako para sa school nila. So it was that part when sinulat mo yung gano'n na. Ang sabi ko raw, pagkakasulat na yun, ang sabi ko sa interview, na when I met this woman, I knew it was her, and I ran down and I came down the elevator and I told my friend, ilang pagkakanalig ni Joy kung gano'n, and I told my friend, I met the woman I'm going to marry. Medyo dramatic na, ha? Sabi tuloy ni Tita, totoo ba yun? But it that might be a bit dramatic, no? Pero I knew what I wanted. In 4 months, I was married. Huwag nang gagawin yun. Magkonsulta muna sa pastoral leader, okay? Coordinator, SWL, ano ha? Sinabi din naman sa inyo, ang panahon yun, wala pang community, ha? Okay? Wala pang community. But we were also mature, over 30. As si Auntie Agnes, I'm 8 years older than her, but at 27, she was, finance directress, got a career of her own, Pero ito yung sasabihin ko sa inyo, kung ikaw ay sa mga lalaki, ang pipiliin mo, you will have your choices. Pero ang isang dapat na pipiliin mo, liligaw, mapapangasawa, yung kaya mong pamunuan. Ha? You know what I mean? In English, baka hindi naintindihan yung Tagalog. You want to marry a girl that you can be head of. Kung hindi mo kayang bigyan ng headship yung babaeng yun, huwag mo siyang pakakasalan. Magkakagulo lang kayo sa bahay. Totoo yun. Kasi hindi susunod sa iyo eh. Eh kung hindi ka din manhabi. Kasi, ang tinuturo natin ngayon, tuwing haharapin mo yung pastoral leader sasabihin, I will ask my wife. Ha? Alam mo na yan, ha? Okay? Ang babae naman, be clear about this, the one that you will consider and possibly marry is the one whom you can respect. Yung kaya mong sundan. Because he will never always make a perfect decision. And he will not always decide well. He will make mistakes. Pero in spite of those things, kung anong decision niya, kaya mong sundin. Susunod ka. Even if you think differently. Kung, siyempre pag-uusapan ninyo yun, hindi naman basta blind obedience. That's not what I mean. Pag-uusapan niya. Okay? And, kaya sinasabi ko, nung makita ko si Tita Agnes, pati, after some meetings, nakita ko, she's a woman of intelligence. And she's a woman who has decision. And there are other things that I like about her. And I asked myself too, yung aking isang kaibigan, nung malaman niya, nakilala niya si Agnes, nung malaman niya, si Agnes yung nakapasawa ko, ang sabi niya sa akin, how can you marry such a girl? Ibig na sabihin, Agnes is such a strong-willed woman. Kaya ko ba yun? Because she was an achiever in college, summa cum laude, active in puro ganyan. Sabi, para naman. But, we blended well. Because she knew how to take my headship, and I have respect for her too. Okay? So yun ang doon, integrate. Pangatlo, and tayo isa, tama-tama lang, ang pangatlo is what your speakers all day have been saying to you. Have courage. Kung sa Tagalog, kung ano man ang iyong desisyonan, in-evaluate mo yung iyong mga values in every decision you make, decision tungkol sa trabaho, tungkol sa pag decision sa trabaho, pinili mo yan, ibig sabihin, you said no to the other possibilities, right? Okay? Sa panliligaw, you said yes to this row, you said no to the others. Okay? Or whatever, or choices nga ito eh, making decisions is making choices. But panindigan mo na yan. Panindigan mo na. It is true that, hindi naman puro mas mayong ginibap eh. Titingin ko minsan doon, mag-isip ko, nagkamali ata ako. Kahit na nagkamali ka, panindigan mo na. Panindigan mo na. Okay? You made the decision to enter into a job, accept the job, panindigan mo yan. Okay yan. Kung nagkamali ka man, God is with you and He will do something about it. I don't know how God will do it, but God will make things right for you. Yun ang ating faith. Okay? Kaya, examine your values, learn to integrate the interests of your life, and have courage. Madaling tandaan, di ba? In every decision that you have to make. Ngayon, how sure am I that these things will work? I'm not sure if it will work for you, but it worked for me. And my life is good. I am 76. I have 4 children. I have 6 grandchildren. And I am ready to face the Lord. And I thank Him every day because He has been with me all this time. May mga reklamo rin ako sa Panginoon. There are many times when I wanted to leave community. Siguro may pa sa inyo, naranahin nyo na sa community. There were times tumatangin nyo nun. Ako rin. Kasi ko yun, senior coordinator. You were tempted to leave community many times. Many times. In the past. And I'm not going to speak to you about those times. But I am human. Pero, may decision ako, community is my life. Sabi ko sa Panginoon, hindi ko aalis dito hanggat hindi na sinasabi kong alis ako. And kaya hanggang ngayon nandito pa rin ako. Maraming salamat sa iyo.
Salamat, Kuya Vic and Chico. Thank you very much. I don't know if you heard, Kuya Vic gave us a very good summary of his sharing. And I don't know if you know this. His name is Vic, Kuya Vic. And that's actually how he summarized his points. You watch on your values, your interests, and have courage. So it's easy to remember. Pwede rin, integration. So, I think we had a very good day. And the Lord spoke to us through our speakers, the sharings. And give me this next 10 minutes for us to make sure that we were able to cover what your experiences or your concerns. And we would like to set aside these 10 minutes to ask you if you have any clarification or questions from talk 1 to this last talk or the last sharing of Kuya Vic. While they are here, they can answer your questions. So feel free to use the mic. We have 3 microphones available. Just come up here and ask a question. Ano ba tayong tanong? Mahihain po sila, Kuya Vic. Sige, why don't we do this? Kung wala naman kayong tanong, I'd like us to do a discussion group. So in the next 10 minutes, let's discuss what's our learning from this afternoon's presentation. I think kanina meron kayong discussion sa second talk. So let's limit ourselves dito sa third talk. What's our take? What did we learn? What struck us? What's really important for us? What value we were able to be reminded of or learn from the presentation and the sharing of freedom. Okay ba sa atin yun?